some scholars say that it was actually it was a jinn. It was not a human. Another jinn, but who had more knowledge. He said, I'll bring it to you even faster than this, before you blink your eyes. Right? And some say it was a human, but who had knowledge of revelation in a way that, he offered this to Sulaiman alayhi salam. So it's part of the story in the tafsir that it's one of those things that only Allah knows, and the mufassirin, had their takes on it in many tafsir. Such as Yusuf's story alayhi salam, وَلَقَدْ هَمَّتْ بِهِ وَهَمَّ بِهَا لَوْلَا رَأَى بُرْهَانَ رَبِّهِ. They would have actually fallen with each other. Yusuf alayhi salam as a prophet, but he would have fallen for his desire, and she would also have fallen for him. They would both have fallen into zina if it wasn't for Yusuf seeing the burhan of his Lord. Burhan Rabbih. Burhan means evidence. Was it something that he saw in the moment that saved him from falling in zina? Was it something he remembered, that he had knowledge of? Was it something he saw maybe the night before or at a prior time that kind of recalled and he saw a sign? Was it a miracle? He saw something from the unseen in front of him. All the mufassirin have different takes, but Allah called it evidence. So when Allah provides evidence to the heart of the believer, it is sufficient to save them, right, from the zina or from any, calamity. Allah Ta'ala alam. Any questions, inshallah? Anyone? Yes, brother, Doctor.
عن عبد الله بن مسعود أنه قال لا بأس أن يسلف الرجل في الطعام الموصوف بسعر معلوم إلى أجل مسمى ما لم يكن في زرع لم يبدو صلاحه أو تمر لم يبدو صلاحه. هذه في البيوع في السلفة في الطعام. الشراء عن طريق النت، الواحد بيشتري مرات شيء بيصله بعدين، بس بيكون هو دافع ثمنه قبل ما يوصل. فيها شبهة.
بيع
الغرر؟
بيع الآجل هذا.
الآجل
اللي هو بدفع الثمن حال والساعة تأتي بعدين. إن شاء الله فيش فيه إشكال، إنه لو حطوا الطعام وتكلم عنه سيدنا مسعود رضي الله عنه، خاصة في ذاك الزمن وسائل حفظ الطعام وفساد الزروع بيكون في نوع من الغرر، بخلاف البيع الإلكتروني اللي بتدفع الثمن حال وتلك السلعة، بعدين البائع أو الوكيل البائع بيملك السلعة أصلا، فصار من الضمانات اللي تضمن وصول السلعة إليك، أو حتى إذا تلفت أو ما وصلتك أعطيك يرجع لك مبلغ ثمن السلعة ما لم يكن في ذاك الزمن. فهو كلامه رضي الله عنه صحيح بالنسبة لزمنهم. أما زمن هذا في ضمانات معينة أو كثيرة بتلغي الغرر اللي كان موجود في زمنهم.
نعم. هو قول ابن مسعود على أساس التحريم ولا على أساس الكراهة ولا؟
لا، الغرر الفاحش اللي بيصل لحد التحريم.
لا بس هو ما ذكر الغرر، ذكر الآجل صح؟
عرفت كيف؟
في الهاي. So we're talking about
حكى لا بأس.
In Islam there is a prohibition of selling something. This is in the fiqh of business, merchandise. Selling something that is unknown, right? So if I, like say for example, I sell you, there's two types that we're talking about, but this one is called gharar. In fiqh, this is prohibited, right? In the sharia. I sell you the fruits of this tree once it grows in the spring. Nobody can guarantee that, right? What if it never grows? And then you take the money based on something that is still yet to come in the future that no one can guarantee, right? Or I sell you fish in the water, right? You cannot sell fish in the water. You cannot guarantee that you're going to be able to pull out that fish, right? So basically this is something of the unknown, right? That's not business. This is prohibited. The Prophet ﷺ mentioned in the hadith. And there's ajal of something that will come later. I would sell you a car that's coming from another state. It'll be there maybe in a week or so. So Ibn Mas'ud talks, about this, that it is,
Okay, لا بأس صح؟
لا بأس. لا بأس قال. That but that's not like gharar. That's not considered of the unknown, but because that is actually something that has been postponed to receive the product or receive whatever you purchased at a later time. Now it didn't have those guarantees, so there was some talk around it, probably. That's why Ibn Mas'ud mentions that it's fine. because back in the days there was not really that much of a guarantee like today Amazon or money back or whatever it could be, or even if the product is not good, you can get back your money. So anyways, so this is that was his question.
Abdullah ibn Umar.
Okay, does that answer your question or
لا أنا الشبهة كانت عندي في بشتري عن طريق النت وبيجيني يعني
في ضمانات زي ما قال, there's guarantees if you buy over the
ما في غرض
internet.
استلام معلومة
Yeah.
والبائع متكفل إنه لو في أي خلل في
the product is known and there are guarantees that it will arrive. So, and then add to that all of the universal trial of it, that people confirm that you do get your stuff, right? Nobody tells you that it doesn't arrive at your location. So all of that confirms it. Yes?
Yeah, I think the same goes to the life insurance because there's no guarantee or anything. So
Yeah, there's a lot of talk around the life insurance too.
Spectrum of opinion.
تأمين الحياة شو شيخنا؟
ما هو رأي المجامع الفقهية على تحريمه تأمين الحياة بشكل عام أصل في لمنع لأنه في غرر.
Yeah. Majority of scholars is at the tahrim of the life insurance.
نعم ولكن أصحاب المهن الخطرة
Because it's actually considered like gharar, right?
Unknown.
بيشبه برضو
But the life insurance, the argument usually is like they're guaranteeing a certain amount of money. It's money for money. That's also the problem sometimes, the transaction of money for money. This is something that is not of value,
Trust.
Yeah. I personally know, only maybe a couple of shuyukh that are known who kind of talk about it in a more positive manner, but the majority of scholars are against it nowadays.
And again, it's a shubha.
It's a big shubha, it is definitely still is, at least for now it still is, and yeah.
The medical insurance is different, right? For the car insurance, that's something you have it.
Yeah, that's different. The issue with insurance is that it has become for profit. But for the idea Islamically of insurance was for community support.
Like pool your money somewhere.
Pooling the money for people who go through different situations in life to be able to cover them under the concept of brotherhood, the concept of social aid and support. That's the original concept of insurance. It's insuring the people who are in need, and they can only take that which covers their need, right? But today it has become for profit. It's just collecting money of people that whether it's something's happening or something's not happening, is just collecting money consistently from people. And that is not the Islamic insurance. Islamic insurance was, there's Baytul Mal, there's that in which the money is collected, and it ensures that if anybody goes, like if a wife is widowed and she has kids and she cannot support them, then that she's qualified to get money from Baytul Mal. So it's the government used to qualify people to receive aid from the insurance money. And it's people who, usually people of money, they put every month into that account for those who are in need. That's how it works. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam. Sheikh maybe might have more explanation about التأمين الإسلامي.
تأمين تعاوني.
تعاوني, yes, تأمين تعاوني. نعم. Any other questions إن شاء الله? Yes.
في قصص عن السيدة زينب بنت النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام وقصتها مع زوجها. يعني أنا مش عارف القصة بشكل كامل، بس اللي أعرفه إن هو أسر في معركة كان بيحارب تبع الكفار الأول، مش فاكر في غزوة أحد بدر وغزوة أحد. وهي أنا متهيألي زينب كانت هي بنت السيدة خديجة، مش كده؟ ولا بنت الرسول من صلب؟
كل بناته من خديجة، نعم. 4 بنات من خديجة.
زينب كانت متجوزة واحد كافر الأول.
نعم.
وهي كانت يعني مغرمة بيه.
هو أبو العاص بن الربيع أسر يوم بدر، فالنبي فزينب رضي الله عنها بعثت وهي في مكة، لأنها ما هاجرت، لأنها كانت مع زوجها وكان زوجها لسه على الكفر أبو العاص بن الربيع. فلما عرفت أنه أسر بعثت بقلادتها أعطتها إياها خديجة رضي الله عنها. فالنبي عليه الصلاة والسلام رأى القلادة حن وقال للصحابة إن رأيتم أن تطلقوا لها أسيرها فأطلقوه. لما شاف القلادة فحكى يعني أطلقوا أسيرها إذا أحببت، واستشار الصحابة فأطلقوه لأجل النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام. فالنبي اشترط عليه إذا رجع على مكة أن يرسل إليه ابنته زينب، فبقي على الكفر بس أوفى بعهده وأرسل زينب إلى النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم، والنبي لم يأخذ القلادة يعني رجعها لبنته. فهي قصة، بس أسلم بعد ذلك رضي الله عنه، لكن هو أوفى بعهده رجع عشان يقال سبب نعم سبب رجوعه انه كان من الناس يحطوا عندهم تاجر، فعنده امانات عند الناس، فخشي انه اذا دخل في الاسلام وظل في المدينه يتهموه انه ايش؟ انه اكل حقهم خاصه اهل مكه، يعني كان معروف بالتجاره هو. هم اسباب اللي خلته انه ما يسلم مباشره ويرجع على مكه، ولكن اسلم متاخرا رضي الله عنه ودخل في جوار زينب بعد ان هاجر الخلسه الى المدينه.
يعني هم النبي عليه الصلاه والسلام 4 بنات.
نعم.
زينب ورقية
وأم كلثوم.
The 4 daughters of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam are all of his daughters are from Khadija, Zainab, Fatima, Kulthum,
ورقية.
and Ruqayya. Those are his 4 daughters.
والسيدة خديجة كان لها أولاد قبل النبي، كان لها أولاد.
نعم معروف ابن أبي هالة المعروف.
نعم Khadija was married before Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and she had kids from an ex husband. Then she got married to Rasulullah. Actually, everything about the story of Zainab is maybe we can get back to that. That's deep into the seerah. But what's interesting about the marriage of Khadija radiyallahu anha, it goes against all the cultural norms that we know today. Like she was interested in Rasulullah, and she kind of poked her uncle to go and talk to Rasulullah. She moved people to show her interest in marrying Rasulullah. So it's the woman who's moving the whole situation. Number 2, she's divorced with kids, and she was the first marriage of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he stayed with her for all these years, and then subhanallah, yani that goes against what
and she's
the cultural,
older too.
Huh?
She's older than
And
him.
she's older than him, thank you, right? And she was wealthier than him.
He never married while she was alive.
And yes, he never married while he was with Khadija radiallahu anha. And then he got married to...
One more, and he
yes.
was employee.
Yeah, and he was also working for her business, yes. So it really goes... Yeah. So it's funny that sometimes people make a big fuss about women that are divorced or women with kids, and then especially for a man who has never been married before, this happens all day long. They will go to the man, the family, and tell him, why would you do this to yourself? You have not been married before you're young. Why do you want to marry a woman with kids, right? Who has been divorced? Today this happens in society a lot, huh? Or older, or wealthier, or
business.
Yeah, so it just shows you that if you have the righteous people, if it's the right people, the dynamic works usually. But if it's the wrong people, then things will not work. Yeah. Yeah. Allahu ta'ala a'lam. Yes.
Quick question here. Is it all the prophets or most of the prophets were prophets after 40 years old?
No.
No, what? The first or second?
So the Anbiya, no, like Yahya وَأَتَيْنَاهُ
حكم
صبية Yahya.
وسيد إبراهيم قالوا سمعنا فتى يذكرهم يقال له
So
إبراهيم.
Prophet Ibrahim was a prophet in his teens, basically. He was 16 or 17 years old when he was prohibiting his father or uncle to stop, building sculpture,
But
right?
when he married Sarah and Hajar, when Sayyidina Ibrahim married Sarah first, right? And then he was married to Hajar, or we just have it as
No, Hajar was later. Sarah was first, right? And she couldn't have children. It's narrated in the Israeliyat that Sarah could not have children. And Sheikh Khalil can correct me, صحيحني إذا أخطأت أنا. She couldn't have children, and then he got married to Hajar to have children too. But then Sarah got jealous, and then she started having children after he had Ismail.
Jealous is Israeli.
Yeah, Mom, I'm telling you, these are the Israeliyat. But that's still the order of his marriages. Also, we got this from the Israeliyat. Like he was married to Sarah alayhi salam, alayha salam, and then he got married to Hajar. Yeah.
Yeah, there is the story of Sayyidina Sarah when he was ordered to immigrate and he came to Egypt and Pharaoh was planning to take over.
His hands froze.
And like,
Yeah.
that time like Sayyidina Sarah will make the dua and he will be...
So these are also Israeliyat. Israeliyat usually are filling the gaps of the tafasir. And there's a manhaj for Israeliyat. منهج الإسرائيليات شيخنا. لا تصدقوها ولا تكذبوها. ليش الحديث احكي بس عشان أنا أترجمه. ليش أخطأ؟
هو إذا حدثكم عن الكتاب فلا تصدقوهم ولا تكذبوهم. وقولوا آمنا بما أنزل إلينا وأنزل إليكم. فبشكل عام لا نصدقهم ولا نكذبهم في الأشياء التي لا تخالف الإسلام. في يعني ورد مثلا عنهم روايات لا توافق ما عندنا نفس الوقت لا تصادم ما عندنا مثل هذه التفاصيل. فإذا أنكرناها قد نكون أنكرنا شيء صحيح، وإذا أخذناها بشكل مسلم قد نكون صدقنا شيء محرف. فالموقف النبوي النبي قال عليه الصلاة والسلام لا تصدقوهم ولا تكذبوهم حتى لا نقع في الإشكال وفي المحظور.
This is an approach that the Prophet taught us how to approach Israeliyat narrations. He said, do not completely لا تصدقوهم, do not completely believe it, and do not completely deny it.
الأشياء اللي
Yes.
في المنطقة اللي لا تخالف ما في عندنا ولا توافق نفس الوقت. تعرف كيف؟
Oh yeah. In things that are not aligned specifically with what we have and what the Quran and the Sunnah has. Sometimes things are in between. You don't know, would you believe that story or would you not? So your position should be, I do not completely deny it, and I do not completely accept it. Because if you might, and then say, آمنا بما أنزل إلينا وأنزل إليكم. And we believe it's in the ayah. We believe in what you received and we believe in what we received. Because if you completely accept it, you might accept something that has been altered. And if you completely deny it, you might deny something that has been actually
إذا كان كذب واضح لابد أن نرده في أشياء مثلا تسيء في رب العالمين والنبي هي لابد أن
Yes, and there are Israeliyat that basically speaks ill of the prophets. These are, we absolutely deny them. If it goes against the Quran and the Sunnah, we completely put it to the side. We do not accept it, right? But if it's in between, in a gray area, or it's a story, should I accept it or should I not? That's the position of what Rasulullah ﷺ is talking. You do not completely accept it, you do not completely deny. You're in between.
في كتب قصص في السيرة أي حاجة مثلا توضح الفرق في السن بين سيدنا إسماعيل وإسحاق
These are إحنا يعني it's a good question. I think it will take us into more discussions of the Israeliyat as well if we want to get into that. But we can take a quick question because we want to wrap up. We don't want to make this too long. Yeah, Bismillah.
It's not a question, it's a comment about the stories.
About what?
About the Quranic stories.
Okay.
Very quick. On the human level, if you look at from the human perspective, all the stories in the Quran, they look imperfect. They look missing something. Date is missing, time is missing, some characters are missing from the human perspective. But in Allah's wisdom, those stories are perfect. Allah is telling us what's important for us for our akhirah.
No.
Yaqub alayhi salam's wife name, Allah has not. If it was beneficial for me, Allah would have told me. Where the Ashab-e Kahf, where were they, the city? If it was beneficial for me, Allah would have told me. But Allah did not tell because it's not important. What's told, focus on that one.
Yes. True. There's details that are there are details and names.
That they're not beneficial.
It's actually يعني Allah يعني عن قصد يعني سبحانه وتعالى it's on purpose that Allah did not mention many names because that he do not want people to get stuck with the names. Because you have to take the jest, the idea of a Jazakallah khair, right? So that's why most stories there's no names mentioned. Just the main figures to kind of refer to, right? That's it. But like even Fir'aun's wife, we got her name from the Israeliyat, Asya. That's not something that has been recorded in the Quran, at least, right?
Just stay with it.
Yeah. So that's what we focus on. We take the message, the ibrah, right? I mentioned last khutbah the word ibrah, right? عبرة لقد كان في قصصهم عبرة. And ibrah is from the word عبور. It's like a bridge, right? And Allah is telling us the purpose of the stories is to build that bridge between your present and your past and the history. So that you learn lessons from there, you bring it into your life. That's the whole point of a story. If the story is not serving your present, then it's waste of time. It's a good night story. Actually, a good night story has a purpose. It puts you to sleep. But this one doesn't. Jazakumullah khair.
I have one question.
Yeah.
Zulekha, from Prophet, Yusuf alayhi salam, Zulekha, the name, where they came from, and why there is some like romanticize about that story. Where they came from. Is it from Israelite or?
Zulaykha is not in the Quran.
Not in the Quran.
The name is asking.
The name is not in the Quran.
أسامي إسرائيليات
إسرائيليات.
الله أعلم
It's
والله
better
أعلم.
Israeli. Yes.
Yeah, so anything like this, usually, first thing that come to your mind is Israeliyat. The names, the gap filling,
Yeah.
these kind of things.
Unless there is a hadith and that hadith is authentic.
Yeah. Even the story of Fir'aun, he saw in his dream that, someone will grow up from Bani Israel. It makes sense. It connects with the whole story in the Quran.